And we're on.
We are. Hello. I see Delaware's on in Frederick, Maryland. Frederick, Maryland is where my daughter's in-laws live. And we went to an engagement party at a winery there. It was really pretty. Of course, I don't remember the name of it. But yes, North Dakota. Yeah, is it gloomy everywhere in the United States like it is here? It is just raining and cold. You would never guess this as the end of May. No, it's like the end of April here, right? It's the end of April. So, I mean, they made me wait to open up my pillow. So today I want to make the navy blue one. So your kits will have one navy blue and one of the khaki. And the navy blue is really nice. It's got kind of got a linen look to it. But I was ripping it apart and John said, "Stop. Show them how you tear the seam out." Okay. And I was having so much fun. I went pretty far. Okay. But we've always talked about this seam ripper. This is the Kai seam ripper. Okay. And this is the best way to take out seams. So what you're going to want to do with the navy blue one, you have to take out the seam. All right. And so I'm just going to take this Kai seam ripper and you just go like that. Look at that. It's like the fast, it's ripping out the serger stitch and the straight stitch at the same time. So here, I mean, it's the fastest seam ripper in the world right here. And you know what? I don't think I'd even bother pulling out all those threads because we're going to be closing it up again. But see, I got a hole in it. Uh-oh, that's not good. I should have been, see, that always happens when you're live. So I'm just going to be more careful. Oh, actually, we don't have to worry. This pillow is, ooh, it's about 20 and a half, and we're going to make it 18. So I'm not even worried about that hole. But I don't want a bigger hole, so I'm just going to be careful. Get it in between. And just little strokes, I think. There, I'll pull out that corner. So we have to take out the whole thing so we can open the whole thing up. Okay, now with the khaki ones, there is no seam across the bottom. So what we did with the khaki, maybe we can see it here. So I have all my mistake ones with me so I could show you the mistakes that I made. But the khaki one, you're going to have to take the seam out here. Joni just used a rotary cutter and just cut off the edge with the seam. Yeah. So I guess with this one, it is, it's about the same. So yeah, you can just take it out because right, if we took out the seam, let me just double check. I'm telling you the right thing. There. So it does, it's from seam to seam, it's 20, and we'll be taking off another inch on each side. So you can just use your rotary cutter. Now, there is no seam at the bottom. So you have to, she felt like it worked best if she pressed it. Okay, and then that gave her a seam line because this is kind of cutting it close at the bottom. And so just, press it so you get a seam line and then open it up and cut it open. All right. Okay, so that's with the khaki one. All right. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is I hooped my largest hoop. So right now we are working with the Radiance and the Avenir, and we're working with the 11 5/8 by 18-inch hoop, which is perfect because you can sew the whole pillow in the hoop with the Radiance or the Avenir. So if you don't have one of those machines, call Steve and John and they can arrange for it. We still have some limited edition machines, and Steve is offering really, really good deals on the machines from the event. So this would be your time to get one. So, okay, so I just hooped the no-show stabilizer, and then I have a piece of fusible fleece, and mine is cut 13 by 24. So it just fits in the hoop. And we're going to place it in the hoop with the fusible side facing up, because one of the first things that we're going to do is fuse my pillow to that. And the other thing that you want to do is take off the tag. There's those tags that say, under penalty of law, this tag not to be removed. And they, after years and years of it saying that, and we all kept our tags on because we didn't want to go to jail because we took that tag off, right? And so they finally did put except by the consumer. So you're going to take those tags off. Okay, and then we are going to be, and I'll show you this, we are going to be placing this in the hoop so that the zipper is over, right side facing up, and over the bracket side. Okay, and there's going to be a basting line to show us where to go, and I think I just need to press. I'll want to press this before we put it in. And I think they gave me a nice warm, the boys were on Tommy John, which Tommy says that's an operation that baseball players need on their elbow, and it's called the Tommy John. I wonder why it's called Tommy John. I have no idea. Tommy's going to have to find that out for us. But the store was incredibly busy today, wasn't it? And our online, everybody's signing up for our fall event. I guess everybody saw what we did for the spring event. And we know, so the formats the embroidery comes in. Okay, so I have this paper here. Okay, so can you focus on this, designs on the flash drive? Okay, so you're going to be able to create this. So my design on the flash drive has it all done for the 11 and 5/8 by 18. And it's all done for the 10 and 5/8 by 16. And it also comes in a 9 1/4 by 14. In both of these sizes, you're going to have to sew that final stitch on your sewing machine, because you need it to be 18 and your hoop just goes to 16 and 14. See, I'm trying to give you hoop envy. And then I also have it in, when I made the one for the one with the stars and stripes. So what I mean by that is the design is in there with these stars and stripes around it. So that fancy fill is around it. Okay, and but I also gave it to you as flag only, and then so you could just do the flag and you'd be able to do the flag bigger. Then I also have it in an 8 by 12. I think somebody put on there that they couldn't do it because they just had a machine that went to 8 by 12. Well, if you have an 8 by 12, Kim is saying hi. So yeah, she was just in the store. You made it home to watch. I guess you don't have to watch it from home. You could be anywhere, right? And on your phone. But I also have it 8 by 12. So if you have an Alissimo, if you have, I guess, a Pathfinder, those 8 by 12 machines, you'll be able to do this design too. So, all right. Now, okay, so I think, now the other thing that I need, Kate, and I hope I have it, is that the Fancy Fill collection. You do. Yeah. Is it open? Because mine was open, and I was stashing it in my case. So, yeah, if it's open, yeah, so that one's, okay, so I will need that to put so you'll get this design. So if you order, we emailed the people who ordered the kit, we emailed them everything. Yeah, so you don't have to buy the flash drive with the designs on it, but that's just going to make it easier because it's already on a flash drive, and you won't have to find your email and download it and put it onto a flash drive. So, but you'll get all the designs. So if you buy our kit, you'll get all those designs. Okay, now the supplies that you need. I'm going to put this one over here so I have it. Okay, the supplies you need is you're going to need a cream piece of fabric. So cream piece of fabric, and I wrote on the directions right here that it's 13 by 9, and you can see mine is 13 by 13, and we just did that to make the class go easier. So if somebody turned it, you know, it was still going to fit. So yours only has to be 13 by 9, so you can save a little bit of fabric. Okay, then you're going to need 3 reds, and what did I just, oh, right here. Okay, the 3 reds, and we pack in your kit. So if you buy the kit, I'll show you the kit later, but you're going to need to cut, okay, right here. 2 of the reds need to be 2.5 by 8. So 2.5 by 8, you're going to need 2 of those. One of the red stripes is longer, and that is 3" by 14.25. And I give you, I have you cut it big, so you'll have plenty of space, you know, to position it and cut off the excess. Then you're going to need a 6" by 6" navy, and we did hot fix every one of these. It just goes better when you lay it down and you stitch it and then you press it. Now, at our event, we had people that were ironing it, pushing, and they got pleats. So you just want to hold your iron down when you fuse these. So yes, okay. So they're asking if they bought the kit last night, will the designs be emailed soon? And so we got to catch all those people that bought last night. So we'll get them to you. So, but you're not working tomorrow. So, but I bet like Monday morning you could do it. Yeah. So we'll catch up on those, everybody. So we did get everybody. I think it was 92 people, right? 92 people bought, and they all got the images and the embroidery designs, and then she'll catch the other ones on Monday morning. So okay, so you need a 6 by 6, and then you need 4 gold. Kate, I swear to you, I had everything all ready. I could run out and get the gold. 4 pieces of gold. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll use those. Yeah. Okay. So you'll need 4 pieces of gold. They don't have to be the same either. So I'll go like 1, 2, 3, and here's another one, 4. So 4 pieces of gold for the chenille star. And I cut those 6 by 6 because those of you that took my class at the event, like I don't bother doing a placement line because I know right where that star is going to go. And if I cut it 6 by 6, I'll have plenty of fabric. So, okay. All right, so we are ready to go to the machine and get it all set up. All right, so those that already bought, you are going to, we emailed this instruction sheet. And wouldn't it be nice if I could do this every time, have it ahead of time instead of after? That's Kate's goal, is to get me working on things earlier. So she'll just kind of walk over to me like on Monday and say, do you know what you're going to do on Friday? So that's her subtle way of getting me to start thinking about what I'm going to do. But so you got this emailed to you, but if you buy the kit, this is going to be printed out. And I said many of our customers do not have a printer, or they haven't used it in a while, and they don't, you know, it's like, remember when we used to print, we would like press print and we'd have to wait, and all of a sudden the printer would make a noise. I was like, oh, it's gonna work this time, right? And so I know that frustration, so I really like to give you the directions already printed out. So I'm gonna take those over. So first thing I'm gonna do is take my hoop. And I got threads all over it, but I'm not going to worry because I'm going to have a navy blue pillow and it's going to be hidden. Yeah, the instructions are on the USB. Yeah. Oh, they'll want us to post those too. Oh, look at this. I put my fabric in the hoop, but I did not pull on these levers. So I better close that up. So, and we always are warning people with doing something like this is too loose. So I'll just take it and I'll pull on it a little bit. I don't want to have bubbles. So I picked it up before I even had those levers. Okay, so this one's shut, and now I'll shut this one. If it's too hard to shut, then it's too tight. You could bow your hoop. So that's what I'm feeling like with this one. Let me see. Well, I feel like it's too tight. I'm just going to loosen it just a little bit. So it should be hard to close, but not so that it bows your hoop. So if in the middle your hoop is sticking up and it's bowed, that's no good because you can permanently bend your hoop and then it won't hold your fabric anymore. All right, so I'm going to take this over to the machine and we will get started. So now in the classes, we had to space the tables just right because we use every inch of the hoop. And so some people were, the hoop was bumping the lady's chair that was sitting in front of her. So just be aware that this is going to use your whole hoop. And if you're sitting in an area like mine where I have to pull away from the wall, you're going to need every single solitary inch. Okay, so now come over here. Okay, now what I had to do in order to make it work on every machine, I had to put it in every single language, every single language for the IQ Designer. So first I'm going to go home and I'm going to open IQ Designer or my design center. All right, and then slide this over here. Okay, we're going to go to Shapes, the square, 01, size, so 01 and then OK, and size. Now the only machine that we're going to do this first step on is the Radiance and the Avenir. Okay, so we are going to go to size, which is and you know what, is it better for you? At the event, they liked me pointing with my finger. So let me know what way you like it better. They said it was hard to follow the mouse. So maybe I'll just start out with my finger. So this button right here, it's the square with the arrows. That's the size button. We're going to go up to the keypad, and then we're going to set the height. And I always say I never make my projects, especially when it's an in the hoop project, I won't go all the way to 18 because I know I'm going to have bulk. I'm going to have, 3 layers of fabric. There's going to be a zipper in the way. So I just like to make it a little smaller. And I decided 17.4. I think you could definitely go to like 17.6 if you wanted to, but I just wanted to play it safe. So I went to 17.4 and set. And then the width, I don't want to use the whole width because there's a lot of bulk in the hoop projects. And so I'm going to go 11.4 and set. All right, so that is the tack down for the fusible fleece. So I'll say, okay, how do I want it to sew it? So I'll go to line properties. I just want to sew it in with a straight stitch. So there's my straight stitch, and then red and OK. And why did I pick red? Because it's easy to see the change from black to red. So now line bucket, and then click on the line to turn it red. You notice it didn't work that time. So I do better using my mouse. I'm more accurate. So see, I clicked in the exact same spot with the mouse. So you may want to have a mouse handy along with using your finger. So I just clicked on the line to turn it red. I know that what stitch it's going to do. I can see up here in the window. It's a straight stitch. and it's red. And so now next. Now I'm going to need that red rectangle later. Okay, so I want to save it. So go to your memory pocket at the bottom, memory pocket, and then save on the machine. So I have the flash drive in, but I'm used to saving on the machine, and then once the project is done, I'll save it on the flash drive. So, but you could do whatever you want. Okay, we're going to need it at the very end. Just Solaris and Avenir people will need it to sew their pillow together. But all the other machines, you'll just go to the sewing machine and do that. So, okay, so here's the page that I can make changes. And one change that we were making at the very end, so this button right here, it is, now I forget the name of it, I'm just going to touch it. Oh, they call it under sewing. So you know how it always goes around twice when it's tacking down? If you don't want it to go around twice, then you'll turn that off. I'm only going to show you that, and maybe I think I'm just going to do it on the fusible fleece. So I'm going to turn that under sewing off and say, okay, now it's only going to go around once. So next button to press is set, then okay. We already saved it, so that's why I pressed OK. I have one step here. So whenever you're doing IQ Designer, you have to take it each step all the way into embroidery, because when I was trying to learn it in the very beginning, I was putting every step on the screen in IQ Designer in the order I wanted it to sew out. But when I went to sew it, the machine decided what order. And honestly, it may decide to sew the chenille first when we haven't done anything else. So that's why I learned early on that it's best to take it all the way into embroidery. So this is the embroidery edit screen. So take it all the way there. What you're looking for is the add button. So you're going to click on add, then IQ Designer, all right, then pocket with the arrow pointing out. Now your shapes are going to be on your flash drive, so you're going to want to have that in. Those of you that got them emailed to you, you're going to want to load it on a flash drive and have it in. So we're going to go to the flash drive button and go to the B pocket. And you're going to pick the flag outline. Those of you that own the Avenir and the Radiance, you're going to have a whole bunch of different ones. And look at this. I was having a hard time with that. I'm going to call it like a stylized star, but that's how, now I'm forgetting her name. Lori Holt designed the star that way. But when I did it the first time, I couldn't get that star had so many bumps in it that I just gave up and I erased it, and I went into IQ Designer and got a star. But all of you will have that star, and I kind of like that one better because that's the one that Lori Holt designed. So the ones you did at the event are the regular star, but let's do that stylized star. So I'm going to pick the star, and okay, the reason why you have more than one is because the Radiance and the Avenir can read more than one image language, where all the other machines like the Solaris and the Luminaire and Destiny and Meridian, Stellaire, all of those only read one image language. So I had to put both on your stick. So that's why you have more than one. So just pick one of those stylized stars, then okay. Okay. Oh, no, I'm not the star. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So there, I'm going to erase that. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Okay. It was the flag outline. So I erased that. So I'm going to go to the pocket with the arrow pointing out, the flash drive, the B pocket, and then flag outline. So I called this one the wavy flag. Don't mistake it for, we're calling that one the curved rectangle. The wavy flag is what we're going to sew down with the beige. The curved rectangle is just the navy blue part. So we're going to get the flag outline, which we called it the wavy flag, and then okay. Then, oh, be sure to adjust the data as its size changes when loading. Oh my, I didn't know that. Let me check that. Okay, let's check the size. Okay, so we're going to click on size, and it's the size I want. So make sure that it is like the 13.83 by 9.4. Okay. Oh, because we did 9. You know what? Let me just double check that because, okay, I'm going to check another one. So I had no idea it was going to do that. So I'm going to erase that one. So I'm learning too here. Okay, B pocket. Now see, we'll want to, and I don't know how to keep track of this other than that one was 110. That was the one I selected. So we're going to select 060 and OK. Now we'll check the size. So we'll go to size, and now that one, oh, that one's the 12.5 by 8. So we need, okay. So they said, so it changed the size. This is something I didn't realize that this machine will do. So we're going to go back to the 110 and OK. Okay. Now, okay, so it looks like that one is still there. So I'm going to just go delete, OK, delete. No, it isn't there. Okay, so I'm going to pocket with my arrow pointing out, select it. Okay, B pocket. Okay, that we're going to select, I'm going to select the 110, okay, and then okay. Now look at that. This is something, okay, that's good. Okay, so now we're going to go to size, okay, and it made my flag bigger. So I need to shrink that down, but I want to keep it in proportion. So I'm going to shrink that down and, oh, yeah, making it smaller. Because that piece, I'm getting all mixed up. I'm going to double check. I don't know why. I'm like, I got to think a second because I don't know why it changed the size. So I'm going to just measure. I'm going to go down to 8.5. But then I'm thinking none of my other things are going to work. Uh-oh, Kate, I may be in trouble here. So let me just check something. Okay, because I never saw that message before. Okay, so I'm just going to delete. Okay. Is anybody giving me messages?
Are we sure that these are the ones for the radiance? Like the bigger pillow, or are these the
yeah.
smaller ones?
So, okay, so I've got the flag outline. I checked that one. Okay. And that one, let's check the size. See, that's 8.5. I'm going to measure the size on the pillow. So something changed. Okay, let's see. And I'll get a ruler out and double check it right here.
Says that their B pocket only has PHX and PM9 files. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Okay, and then who said that? What machine do they have?
They didn't say. They just said they only have the PHX and PM9 files.
Yeah. So B pocket. So do you have it in your machine, and is your machine reading it? So now your B pocket, when you are in IQ Designer, it's only going to show you the images. But when you go into embroidery, so if you open that flash drive in embroidery, then the completed embroidery designs will come up. So this one is at about 12.4, 12.5. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then this one is at 8. So why was it coming up? I'm going to try again. I'm going to try one of these other flash drives too. So I have never seen that message before where it told me. I'm just going to try one more time. Okay, So I should have cleared off. But
Said, for her radiance, the save size is 12.5 by 8.5.
By 8.5. So her design on her flash drive, or what she downloaded, is because if she has it, she must have gotten it off of your email. And so when she opens this, so I'm going to go to 060, okay, and hit size, and 12.5 by 8.5. That's right. So why am I getting mixed up? Okay, so that was the 060, and that is correct. Okay, so if it opens up a bigger one than that, right? Didn't I open up a bigger one? I'm just going to check it. Oh, I feel like can I press rewind and start this whole thing over? Okay, let's see. B pocket, and we went to the 110 one, and okay. And see, that's the one where I get that size, change the size. And let's just look at the size, because I may make you immediately, yeah, it's too big. So I don't know why it adjusted the size, but we're going to delete it. Okay. So even we're going to go in and pocket with the arrow pointing out, go to our flash drive, B pocket. We're going to grab that number 110. I'm hoping your numbers are the same as mine. Let me know if yours aren't. Grab the 110 and delete it. That's incorrect. Okay, but we're going to have to keep an eye on all these others. So I'm thinking if we get that error message, don't use that one. So I don't know why it did that. I'll have to find out. Okay, but now we should be able to get the 060 and okay. All right, wavy flag. All right. So okay, there, flag outline, and okay. Okay, now we are going to go into the pocket with the arrow pointing out, okay, and we want our red rectangle, okay, then okay. Now the reason why, remember, we put that in there a little smaller, okay. If I fill the whole hoop, the outside of the flag with the fancy fill, it was hitting the zipper, okay? And some people miss this step. So right now, my outside rectangle is red, which means it is selected, all right? So now we need to make that smaller. So we're going to go to size. So the size button down here, the keypad. Okay, we're going to click on the width. So the width, and we're going to make the width 10.75 and set. And I do have, so see how that is narrower. Okay, so and I'm going to grab a sample. You don't have to move, Kate. I have a sample of, and see why, oh, here it is right here. So a person in my class didn't get that step. Look at, right when she started to sew, her machine was going all the way to the width, and we caught it right there and said, it's going to hit the zipper. Okay, because we made that outer rectangle smaller at this step, it's not going to hit the zipper. So that's why we did that. So, the only way we knew that was going to happen is trial and error, And so I am going to right now, so we are on step, we clicked on 10.75. We're on step 29. We're going to click on OK. Now we have to tell the machine how we want it to sew out. So we're going to go to line properties, I don't want it to sew that outer line, that rectangle. And I have another sample where we did sew it. So I want to show you that just so you'll understand what goes wrong. Okay. But so this is the outer line. Okay. See, we had to ditch that project right away. So we stitched that. Look at, it's got that straight stitch. You're going to chance sewing too close to the zipper, but also it doesn't look good. Oh, up here. Okay, up there. So see it, I don't want it to sew that line. It comes too close to the zipper. So too close to the zipper and also that outer line. And so I don't want it to sew that at all. I'm going to grab my pillow here and show you how we want it to sew. So no outer line here. Yours is going to look better than mine because we see how we cut off the stars there. So we got the size just right so that you're not going to cut off the stars. Okay. So, and I'll show you how to adjust that. Okay. So we're going to click on no sew. All right. Then okay. Then line bucket, that's something I always forget. So it's a bucket and it's got a line below it. So line bucket. Click on the red rectangle to make it gray. Let me see if I can do it with my finger. It did it. So see, it went from red to gray and I can see that the gray line is no sew. Then we're going to go to line properties. I do want it to sew that flag shape because that's going to be my placement line for my fabric. So we went to line properties, straight stitch, green, and okay. Now line bucket, and see line bucket is on. You can press it again, it's not going to hurt it, but I didn't have to press it because you can see it's highlighted, it's selected. So I'm going to touch the line to turn it green. Okay, now we're going to go to fill properties. Okay, and what would Patty say to us right now? She would say save. So we're going to save. So we're going to go down to the pocket, and save on the machine. All right, because now I'm going to take my mouse out and I am going to insert the Baby Lock flash drive that has my fancy fills on it. So that is the collection. It is the one with the candle, and it is Holiday Fill and Motif Collection number 2. And it's got some really good patriotic designs along with Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so I'm going to insert it in the flash drive.
A few people are asking, are the instructions that were emailed to everyone yesterday for the Solaris or the Radiance?
Well, they are for the Radiance. But all you'll do is your first step will be going, and next Friday, we are going to do this project on the Solaris and Luminaire, and it will also work for the Meridian and Altair and the Destiny. So next Friday, we are going to do it because we have to draw the chenille lines. So it's good for you to watch along with this one. And then next Friday, we will have the directions ready for all those other machines. And I promise you, I got to make a promise to them that I'm going to have the directions done ahead of time, and we can post those directions before we do the class. That's my goal for next week. So we don't have any shows. I'm not going anywhere. I said I just want to stay home and come to work every day and get my work done. So that's what we're going to do next week. Okay, yeah, so it's good for you to watch along so you can see. Okay, so we did the placement line. So now we are going to go to fill properties. So down here to fill properties, okay, decorative fills, then press select. Did you see there was a delay? in IQ Designer, you got to give the machine time to think. So don't be pressing again. Give it time to think. So now we're going to go to Custom. Click on the pocket with the arrow pointing out. Okay, and then, okay, I've got, it's not B pocket. Okay, look, I only have one flash drive listed there. Okay, even though I put my flash drive in. Okay, so what I need to do is, in order for, and people are having trouble with this, and all they have to do, I'm going to take my hoop off because I need to reboot. So all I need to do, so it's only recognizing my flash drive. Let's just pick that top one again, just see. No, it's not recognizing it. So I need to turn off the machine. I need to boot up the machine with the flash drive in, and then it will recognize it. So if you have any flash drives that your Radiance or Avenir is not recognizing, all you have to do is turn it on with the flash drive in, and then it's going to recognize it. And I think you only need to do that the first time that you put it in. So there must be a startup file that's on the stick that it needs to do. So, you know, there's always that system information file on every stick. So, okay, just give it time. So here we are. We're going to wake up the machine. The carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Please wait a while. So give it time. It always calibrates the embroidery unit. In fact, every single embroidery machine I've ever been on has done that. Then we go to IQ Designer. Now it's asking me to recall and resume the previous memory. So even though I turned it off, it's going to resume where we left off. Okay, so now we're going to go to Fill Properties. So that is the piece of paper with the filled in block. Fill Properties, the fancy fills, select, give it a second, there's a lot of thinking to do, there's a lot of fills here, custom, now the pocket with the arrow pointing out, and then we go to B pocket. Okay, I think I'm going to go here. USB drive. Okay, there we go. It should have been USB drive. Design Suite. 4th of July. Fills. Motifs or decorative stitches. Okay, here's the one we want. Now you can do a different one if you want. You know, if you have this flash drive, there's, you know, people at the event were doing the USA somewhere, but they were taking too long to sew out. This one sews out faster, so that's why we selected it. So it's the one they call it wavy stars. I call it stars and stripes. So, okay. Okay again. And then, okay, select navy blue. We're going to sew that in navy blue. Okay. Click on the fill bucket. So the bucket with the filled in square behind it. Fill bucket. And it's hard to see. We're gonna tell them we want these lines darker, but you'll be able to like twist your head just right. And then you can just click in the area in between those two. Then, if I'm going too fast, you tell me. Then we're going to select next. Wait a while, let it think. You know, the arrow went around, and we are going to go to the rotate button so that it has an angle and a 0. So rotate, and we're going to go to 90 degrees. So plus up to 90 degrees, and okay. All right, now we're going to go to size. So up here at 100%, we're going to click on that and minus down. So, or You know what? I think, okay, we minus down. I think I'd like it to be a little bigger. Okay, let's just try it. So if I go to 105 and okay, let's take a look at it. You know, I like it like that. So you're going to change your step 55 on your paper and go to 105. Now, let me just show you real quick what going down to 80 would have done. So 105, let's go down to 80, and then okay. It just put more stripes in, but they were complete, and my stars were complete. But I think as we did the event, we just went bigger one time, and I always turned to Patty, and like she said, I like it better bigger. And so we went to 105. So you could either do 80 or 105, but I kind of, both Patty and I like 105. All right. So, and then we clicked on OK once we selected the size. Now set. OK. Add. So what do we need next? So we did the background fill. Then we're going to add the tack down for the beige fabric. So we clicked on add, then IQ Designer or My Design Center. The pocket with the arrow pointing out. We're going to click on the flash drive. Now, I had all these designs loaded on the machine at the event, so that's why I just went pocket with the arrow pointing out and they came up. But we're going to click on the B pocket. It's easier if you have them all loaded. And then we're going to get that same wavy flag, 060, and then OK. Line properties, it's a tack down, so we want to do a straight stitch. So we're going to go into line properties, straight stitch, and I got to see what color I said. So we are on step 66, so purple and OK. I change my color every step because I want to be sure that the machine is going to stop for a color change so that I can lay my fabric down. But you're going to see when we do the 3 stripes with the fancy fill that I have you keep the color the same so it will sew all 3 at once. But for now, I'm changing my colors every time to be sure that it's going to stop. So now we're going to click on line bucket and click on that black line to turn it purple. Then we're going to press next. So next, so my straight stitch is 0.080 inches, which I know from changing from inches to millimeters that is a 2-stitch length, and the 2-stitch length is perfect. Let's just leave that outline on because turning it off every time is going to just create so many more steps. And I'm going to ask them in a future update that if they could turn the outline off, because I don't want to sew around twice. I don't know whether you want to, but I always need to save time. So I'm going to leave it on from now on though. And we're going to ask them to make the default, or if we could pick what the default is in the settings, I would really like that. So set, okay. We don't need to save this. Okay, now we're going to add. So now we're going to do the placement line for the stripes. So add, IQ Designer or My Design Center, the pocket with the arrow pointing out, the flash drive. So flash drive, the B pocket. Okay, I am going to pick the first one of the stripes. We will know immediately if it isn't the right size. So I'm thinking, I don't know whether maybe these other ones will, it didn't give me the error message. So I'm going to say that it's going to be the right one. Okay, so there's my 3 stripes. Then I pressed OK. Now, how do I don't have a placement line for these stripes. I have no idea where to put the red fabrics. So I need a placement line. So right now it's in zigzag. So we need to go to line properties, straight stitch, red, and OK. Then line bucket. And I'm going to click on all 3 lines to turn them red. So 1, oh, it didn't, well, it didn't register. Oh, no. There, that one did. That one did. So I just need to press that one again in a different spot. And then it registered. So all 3 of them are red. Might take you more than one try, but now press next. Okay, and then set. The box, the selection box is around just 1. Okay, if I make a change, it's only going to change 1. So if I want to change this, which I don't, I'm going to keep it the same. But at the event, we were selecting the link button and we were turning that outline off. So really, I only need to sew that once. Let's do it. So link, now you can see the red boxes around all 3. And I'm going to press the on button and turn it off, the undersewing off, and OK. All right, now press set. So set, converted. It's kind of, we wish it said, did you save what you just did? Because you're going beyond it and you can't go back and save. But we have the images already saved on our flash drive, so we're okay. So I'm going to press OK. Now, what's my next step? So that was the placement line for the stripes. I can see that I have, oh, you know what? Do I have my original tack down? Well, you know what? We'll check that later and we'll add it later. So my original tack down, I don't see it. So, but we can add that later. So add, I think maybe when I turned it off and maybe when I was getting mixed up, I must have lost that original tack down for the fusible fleece. So we're going to go add, then IQ Designer. We can add that at the very end and I'll show you. So next week, we are going to be doing this for the Solaris and the Luminaire and all the rest of the machines, okay? And the week after that, I want to show you how to make changes. And like here, I somehow lost that first rectangle. And I'll show you at the end how to add that in. So, okay, so we are going to get the stripes again. So I'm going to select my pocket with the arrow pointing out. Okay, I am going to go to my flash drive, the B pocket, and then we're going to get the 3 stripes. 3 stripes. Disregard this one for now. We didn't get the error message, so I know this one is correct. Okay. Then line property. See, it's going to do a zigzag. I don't want zigzag, so I know I have to change it. So line properties, straight stitch, straight stitch. I'm going to get a deep pink. I've told many times before, do not pick a pastel, because if you pick light pink, you're going to select and you won't be able to see it. So pick more vibrant colors, but don't pick the dark colors, because on your screen, they're all going to look black. So this dark green, you know, the dark gray, the navy blue down here, that's all going to look black. So I kind of stay in these medium shades. So I want you to pick the deep pink and then okay. Line bucket. So up here, up above. So it's the bucket with the line below it. And that's going to change the line. And I want to change all 3 lines to pink. There's no link button on this page. So you're going to have to press each one separately. So I'll select the This one, oh, that's the one that gave me trouble before. I'm just not there. I hit it right. Okay, now, oh. See, I do better with a mouse. So I may plug my mouse in again. I at this point, I can take the flash drive out that has those fancy fills that I added. I can take that out and I can plug in my mouse in case I need it. So the mouse does not have to be in when it's booted up for it to recognize it. See how it's working right away? Okay, so I'm just gonna slide my mouse over to the side so it doesn't get in our way. Okay, so now we turned all 3 pink. So we're gonna press next. That stitch length is fine. Going around twice is fine. So I'm gonna press set. Okay. Now, the next thing that we need to add are the fancy fills inside the stripes. So we're going to click on Add, IQ Designer, or My Design Center. Okay, pocket with the arrow pointing out. We're going to click on the flash drive, the B pocket, then the 3 stripes. Kate did the pillow, and she took it home, and everybody loved it, right, Kate? Yeah, so I said her next step is to make a quilt. So, right, they put it on a bench, and it looked really good. But I said, you need to make one of our throw quilts. For the 4th of July. So she'll have a throw over that bench and her pillow, and they'll be even more impressed, right? So I have the 3 stripes selected, then press OK. So I'm on step 105. All right. Now, how do I want it to sew those lines? I don't want them to sew it at all. We've already tacked down our fabric. I don't want it to sew at all, and it's going to do a zigzag, so I know I need to change it. So I'm going to select the line properties. No sew. I don't want it to sew. So see how all my colors are grayed out? So no sew is a zigzag with a red slash going through it. Then OK. Line bucket. There's no link button, so I have to press all 3 lines to go from black to gray, which is hard to see. Oh, it's giving me an error message. Oh, there it went. So now see, I'll use my mouse on the next one and see how I can get my mouse right on that line, and that's just much easier. So when I'm clicking on a line, I'm going to go to my mouse. Okay, but then I'll slide it aside so you can see what button that I'm pressing. Okay, so we went line bucket. We clicked on all 3 of those shapes to turn them into a no-sew. Then we're going to go to fill properties. So that is the piece of paper with the filled in red box behind it. So fill properties, fancy fills, select. Now see, the first time we selected that, it took a while for it to come up. This time it comes up much faster. And then select what you like. So I told everybody what I liked, but you can pick whatever you like. I liked having a geometric with 2 florals. So most of the time I picked a 1/6. The one that's on your flash drive, I think has this one. It turns out really nice. So let's, for right now, let's go 016 and OK. Pick what you want though, then gold, and make note of the gold. So I'm gonna pick this darkest gold. We're gonna keep it there because we don't want the machine to stop. We want it to sew out all 3 of the fancy fills at once. So I picked that dark gold, then OK. Fill bucket. I wanted to do the stripe in the center. I know it's hard to see, but you can see it. And we're going to ask the engineers to make those lines darker. So we're going to click inside that one to fill it. Okay. Now let's press Fill Properties again. So Fill Properties, select. Now the one on your flash drive is a brand new one. So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, and it was this one, 015. See, here's the chenille that we're going to use later. I also use 049. So you choose whatever one you like. I like the floral. I like the I like it like that. Like let's see which one I told you to use for your paper. Well, I used the circles. Oh, I thought that one was boring later. So I'm gonna go 022. You pick whatever one you like. Okay, you're gonna keep it in gold. See how it's gold? Don't touch the color. Keep it okay. And click inside your next stripe. Okay, so you've got 2 stripes. Now, Fill Properties again. Select. We're going to go and pick another one. Oh, you know, I love that one. They're all so pretty. So some of our customers, they don't like the floral ones that I like. But, you know, I didn't try this one. I'm going to try 043. So you pick whatever one you like, then press OK. Then keep the color gold. We're not going to touch the color. And then OK again. Fill bucket. See how fill bucket is on? So I don't need to touch it. If you feel safe, you can touch it. But press inside your last stripe. Oh no, I have a hole in it. Kate, I think that means they all have a hole in it. Okay. How does that happen? Even at that right, you saw at the event, we had a hole. So, I mean, this is going to happen to you. So I want to show you how to fix it. Okay. So I'm going to undo. So if it ever fills your whole screen, and I know right where the hole is because I searched for it. Wait till you see where the hole is. But it is, I'm going to point it out right with my mouse. The hole is right here. Okay, so wait till you see when I zoom in. Okay, because I had a hole in another one. Oh, I had such a hard time finding it. But I am going to go from 100%. I'm going to go to 800. Okay, I'm not in the right spot. So I'm going to click on the pan button. So they call it the hand tool. And I'm going to slide over. Okay, another way to slide is to use these slider buttons here. So I'm doing it with the mouse. So see, I've got the mouse on the slider and I can slide over. So I can kind of pick, okay, that's the one that isn't filled yet. So I know that one is correct. So I can have my pan button on and slide up. No, I still couldn't find it. So I went to 1600%. Okay, that's the hole. That's how little it was. Okay, so that's the hole right there. So I am going to go into line properties. The easiest one for me to use is this straight line. So they call it straight line with one stroke. So straight line. And then we're going to keep it at no-so because the rest of the line is no-so. We're going to keep it at no-so. And that's where it is. So see how it's highlighted? I didn't press that. And then OK. If I change to zigzag or straight stitch, that little line is going to be different than the rest of the design. So I use my mouse because I can be more accurate. I'm going to click on this line right there. Okay, see how it's off to the side? I didn't click it right. So I have to undo. And I press undo and I wait till it disappears. So I have to be like right in front of it. Okay, I got it that time. See how I'm on? And I just go right on there and there. Now to test it, I'm going to stay here. and I'm going to click on Fill Bucket and click inside it. And yay, it only filled inside the stripe. So that it is a really important lesson for you to learn. If you don't learn what to do when your whole screen fills, that's going to happen to you, and you're just going to get stuck. So the only thing is, I had a really hard time finding that because it was so tiny. But I kept guessing at it, and then I would try to fill, and it would fill my whole screen. And so I'd move on to another area and say, oh, maybe that's a hole, and I'd fill that in. But on that one, it's just right there in the corner. So if it wasn't that hard, was it, to fix it? So, and it is really good for you to learn it. So in a few of my classes at the event, I did have them do it because I really wanted them to learn that. Okay, so now we've got all 3 of our stripes filled. So we're going to click on Next. All right, I don't need to make any changes. Okay, I accept. Okay, now, guess what? I don't have that on the screen. We're going to have to add some steps. Uh-oh, I'm going to grab a pen because you could sew this out just the way it is. But and I think somebody at the event said, Gloria, look at all those ends. So every time the design comes to an end, so everywhere, like 30 times going down there, it is going to stop, tie a knot, cut the thread, and then make a jump stitch. So it is going to sew out really slow. So we were at 134. So right next to the word next on your paper, I am going to I'm going to type in link, and we'll send these out again. So link, so you're going to click on this link button right here. So it's a chain link. We want to link them all together. On the Radiance and the Avenir, the outline is default is off. I want the default to be on, but I gotta get the engineers to give us an update so we can turn that on and off easily, or I think I want it on all the time. I don't want to stop for all those jump stitches. So I'm going to click on the off button. All right, so we're going to go link, and then we're going to click on outline. So it says outline off. And when we get to this screen, we're going to turn it on. So then on, and then okay. Now look, I linked them together. It only changed one. Why did it do that? Because each one of my fancy fills is different. So the link button doesn't work in this case. So in this case, you are going to select your next one. So it only changed. But see how those lines are filled in now? So see how they're open here? So we're going to click on it, and we're going to turn outline on and OK. Then here, select it, and then we're going to go to the outline where the button says off. You're going to click on that and turn it on and OK. All right, so now you learned something really, really important. And okay, so now we need to add to this. So we've got our stripes. Now we need to tack down, we need to sew the blue fabric. So the blue fabric that is underneath the star. So we are going to go, we're going to set this first. So set, okay, okay. We are in embroidery. We don't need to save the shapes, but in embroidery, if the power would go out, or I don't know, just, it resumes, but every once in a while it doesn't resume. So you want to, when you've done this much work, especially in embroidery, we are going to press the pocket and we're going to save it on the machine. So if something happens and it doesn't resume, we'll be able to go into embroidery, open up that pocket, find all the work that we did so far, and then we'll be able to add to it. So now we are going to add the tack down for the blue. So we're going to go add IQ Designer or My Design Center, the pocket with the arrow pointing out, the flash drive, the B pocket. I should have shown you how to get all of these on the screen at once. So how about next week we start out loading our designs into the machine so we don't have to press that flash drive every time. So I'll have to remember that, but next week I'll show you how to load all of those. So this is the curved rectangle. That is the shape of the navy blue. Okay, so there we're going to select it and okay. All right. Now, one thing I want you to notice that I could have edited that line drawing on my computer, like in the paint program, and I could have done it even faster than on a machine. Maybe not, probably same amount of time. But when you save these sections, so how did I get this? I took the whole image and I erased everything but the blue line. Now, because I saved it in IQ Designer and I did my work in IQ Designer, it's going to place that blue piece of fabric, the blue stitching, right where I want it. So that's why, for me, it's really important to save everything and do all the work in IQ Designer on the machine, because then it ends up being easier for us later. So I have my blue fabric down, and how do I want to sew this? Right now, it is going to be the tack down for the blue. Now, there's times where I skip doing a placement line, because I told you to cut your fabric 6 by 6. You're going to be able to tell from what you had sewn so far exactly where the blue is going to go. So I am just going to go to Line Properties, Straight Stitch, Blue, and I'm going to get a brighter blue this time. So blue, and then OK. Then we're going to click on Line Bucket. Now I am going to step 146. So Line Bucket, click on the line to turn it blue. I didn't click right. That time I did. Okay. Now, next. So the stitch length is okay. It's going to do it in a 2-stitch length. That's okay. If you want to, you can turn your outline off. I'm just going to leave mine on. So we're going to press Set, OK, Set, OK, Save. I don't have Save on there enough on my instruction sheet, but at the event, whenever we got to embroidery, we press Save, and that's because, like I said, if your screen doesn't look like my screen, raise your hand, someone will come help you. And so that was wonderful for them to be able to go into the memory of the machine, pull up what she had done so far, and resume from there. So it's really good to save it, and save it a lot. Patty saves it every step. So, okay, so add IQ Designer, or My Design Center, pocket with the arrow pointing out. So we tack down our blue fabric. Now we need to get the star. So I'm going to click on the flash drive, the B pocket, the star, and I want the fancy star. I'm a little afraid. Let's just select it and see what happens. So I'm going to select the first one and OK. Oh, gave me the error message. Let's just see. You don't have to do this. I don't know whether it's going to be the right size. You don't do anything. It sure looks, see, I almost wish I could see all the work I've done so far. I wish that I had that button where I can lighten and darken the picture, but I don't have that here. So that's another thing. I think when I go to the convention this year, hopefully the engineers are going to be there, and then I'm going to type out a list of things that I wish we had, and then I'll hand it to them. I don't know. So let me just check. I'm going to do the next step, but I'll come back to it. I'll erase it and come back to it if it's incorrect. So I am going to go and tell it I need a tack down for that star. So I don't need a placement line because it's going to go right inside that blue area. And I had you cut your fabric 6x6, which will be the perfect size. You know, it'll fit right in. You'll see. Okay, so I don't want it to do a zigzag. That's for sure. So I'm going to go to the line properties, straight stitch, gold, but a different shade of gold. I was just running out of gold, so running out of colors that I selected. So gold, okay. Line bucket, click on the gold star. Oh, look at that. I have a break in the line. So this is my first time doing this one. So how do I know that? Let's zoom in on it. Let's go up to the zoom button. Oh, I'm going to go to the zoom button. And I'll go to 400% and I'm going to pan. So there must be, now I can't see a break in the line. So I am going to go to 800%. Let's go. There must be a break in the line right here and right here. So I still don't see a break in the line. So I'm going to go up to 1600. I can't see it all. So I'm going to press my pan button and go, okay, I see a line there. I have to move it around. Oh, let's see. There it is. Okay. I do not see a break in the line. You know what? I think I would just go line bucket and click on this line here. So it's fine. So see why I didn't do that star? Yeah. So you know what? I'm worried because when we go, it's got a break in the line. And when we, now I don't need you to do this, but I want to just try something. If I go in to select my fancy fill, this is kind of good that you're seeing what I'm thinking about. And I'm going to go get the chenille and see if my whole screen gets filled with chenille. Chenille, okay. So I selected it. We'll leave it red. I'm just testing it right now. And then I'm going to line bucket, click inside the star. Oh, it didn't fill the whole thing. So we're safe. Okay, so I'm just going to undo. So all I did, I think I'm going to be okay. I don't know why it broke the line apart. Oh, wow. That is really hard to see, isn't it? I think I better go up and change to a darker color. So I'm going to go to line properties. Well, I'm just going to click up here at the color. And we are going to go to, oh, I'll just pick this kind of teal color. Okay. And I'm going to go line bucket and turn this. And look at that. It changed it all at once. I don't know why it did that. Does Patty know why? Does anybody? I don't know. Okay. So, so we've got straight stitch. Okay. We've got line bucket. I'm not positive this is going to fit yet because remember it gave me that error message. We're going to know in a minute. And I'll show you where I go from here. I hope I'm not getting you all mixed up, but this is really good to learn, okay? And it's good to hear somebody talk through why they made this decisions. Like I said, when I first learned how to do IQ Designer, they said, put this on 3.4. Okay. They didn't tell me why 3.4. Why did you do that? And so I hope in me telling you why I'm doing things that you're learning how to do this. So, okay. So I got line bucket. I did straight stitch. We're going to click on next. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and set and okay. And see, the star is not the right shape. Okay. So, and it's not in the right spot. So I am going to, right now that star is selected. So every time you need the star, you're going to have to move it. And I just thought that was too hard. I'll try to work on this week and get this, because this is Lori Holt's star, and but it just wasn't working in IQ Designer. So it's not working out, so I'm going to trash it. And okay. All right, so we are going to go back to step. Okay, curved rectangle, set. Okay, we're going to go back to step 151, add IQ Designer, pocket with the arrow pointing out, up above, the flash drive, B pocket, get the first star. So it's just a regular star. It's not the one with the bottom star longer, bottom of the star longer. So it's just a regular star. Okay. Line properties. So that's this button that looks like a piece of paper. Line properties. Straight stitch. Now remember, I picked gold, but that didn't show up. Let's go back to that teal. We could see that much better. So I'm going to cross that out, and we'll make changes, and I'll get poor Kate is going to have to email everybody again once I get these. Okay, so now, okay. Line bucket. It's up here, the bucket with the line below it. Line bucket. Click on the star to turn it teal. Cross that out on mine. Okay. Now, next, down in the lower right, next. I don't need to change the stitch length. I'm okay with it going around twice. Set. Okay. There, it's in the right spot. So I'll figure out this week why the other one didn't work out. I must have pressed the wrong button along the way. Now, okay, now we want to add the satin stitch, okay? Because right now, all we have are ends. There's nothing covering where the fancy fills are butting up against each other. So we're going to go add and lower left, IQ Designer or My Design Center, pocket with the arrow pointing out, up above, the flash drive, B pocket, get this first one with the regular star. So there was something about that star that it didn't like. So the regular star, okay. All right. Then, and I called that one the flag with the stars and stripes. So it's everything. Then how do I want it to sew out? I want it to be a zigzag, but I'm still going to assign it. So I'm going to go into line properties. Whoop, there, line properties. It's already on zigzag. I could press it again if I want. Green's really easy to see. So I pick colors right in that range often. So, okay. Line bucket, up here, line bucket. click on the lines to turn them green. So I'm going to click on and see how all the lines that were connected turned green, but the star didn't. So I need to click on the star too. So make sure everything is green. Next. Now remember, when you re-watch this, you're going to be able to pause it and catch up. You're going to be able to rewind. Okay, so now on this page, I'm going to go to the settings page. So it's up above, there's a little gear. So the gear up above, down below, go to page 9 of 12 and change it from inches to millimeters. Remember my stitch length, or what was my stitch width was 0.20 in inches, and that just didn't make, I know stitch width in millimeters. Now it's a 2 millimeter stitch width. That's way too narrow. It's not going to cut off, it's not going to cover your raw edges. So we're going to link everything together. Okay, because there's more than one shape there. See how I have a red box around my stripes and a red box around the star. Then we're going to click on that 2 millimeter button. And originally I said 4. I usually use 4. Patty made me go up to 5, and we had much better luck with 5. But I still want you to, when you are trimming your fabric, I want you to make sure you trim that fabric close to the straight stitching. If your fabric is trimmed to like 1/8 of an inch, it may not cover and it'll peek out the wrong side and it won't look good. So go to 5, but still trim your fabric close. So then we're going to press OK. So did you see my star has the thick stitching, and so does my stripes. I always used to tell you to increase the density, but you're going to find the density at 100% to be perfect on your machines. It does a beautiful satin stitch. So the only thing we changed was the 5. Notice that the 5 doesn't have the black around it. So the 100% does. The 100% is the default. The 5, you had changed that. So that's it, giving you a clue that you had changed it. So now set, OK, down here in the lower right. It needed time to digitize, so don't press it again. And see how everything lines up just perfect. Okay, now, so there is my satin stitch. Okay, now those of you that do not have the Radiance or Avenir, you can go, you won't have but I'm going to teach you that next week, how to draw the lines in. So, but anyhow, now we're going to add the chenille stitching. All right, so add IQ Designer or My Design Center, pocket with the arrow pointing out. So the pocket, oh, I bumped the camera. Is it okay? Okay, pocket with the arrow pointing out. I need that star again. It's on my flash drive in the B pocket. Oh, didn't press it right. B pocket. Get the star all by itself. So the star, okay. How do I want it to sew this? Okay, so I basted the 3 layers of the fabric down. When we did the first star, we just had 1 layer and then we satin stitched. Well, I looked at Kimberbell's. I looked at how they did it, and they had a satin stitch shape at the bottom. So let's say a star at the bottom. Then they tacked down 2 layers. I kind of liked it better with 3. Your chenille will be thicker. So we're going to do 3. But in order to get your chenille cutter, I'm just going to grab my chenille cutter. Oop, what did I do with it? I lost it. There. Okay, Kate's helping me. Okay, all right, I'm going to show you my chenille cutter. So here's the chenille cutter. This has to go under the 3 layers of fabric. then you're going to press this button at the same time that you're going to flick that switch. You don't have to hold that anymore. You're going to get this part under the chenille. Your rotary cutter is going to cut through the 3 layers. This part is going to protect that bottom layer from being cut. So it's really cool. And believe me, now that we can design our own chenille things, we're going to be doing a lot of chenille. Now, in order to get that blade retracted, all I do is press that button and it retracts it. Okay, so, but I have to get my fabric under the basting stitch. So I just, I don't want a 2-stitch length. I wanted a long stitch length, so those stitches are real easy to snip and to rip out. So I am going to go to line properties. Okay, and we are line properties. Okay, where are we? Okay, line properties, step 188. Straight stitch, purple. Okay. Oh, I should be using my fingers. They told me it was much easier. So line bucket, click on the star to turn it purple. Oh, didn't hit it right. There, I got, first I got the error message. You know, it's hard to see the color change, but I can see purple up here and straight stitch in the box. So I know that that is registered, and now I can see that it is purple. Okay, so I clicked on the star to apply the stitch. Now, next. I don't want a 2-stitch length. I went 4, but I think Patty said 5. So you want it really long. All you need this straight stitch for is, you know, a line to follow, so you cut it in a star shape. Remember how Tommy and John did it? They had theirs cut out ahead of time, which would be really nice because it's like cut so nice. But I'm going to go up to 5. So my stitch length is going to be 5. So it's going to be a really long stitch length. Then I'm going to press OK. Do I want it to go around twice? No, just once. So I'm going to turn, I always forget the name, the undersewing to off. Undersewing off, which means it's only going to go around once, then OK. Set it. The first time I did it, I put the chenille stitching in there, and then when I went to sew it, it sewed the chenille stitching before the straight stitch before the outline, and it puckered a little bit. So I thought I'd rather tack it down first with a basting line so it won't pucker. So we're gonna set it. Okay. I'm sure Patty is yelling at her screen right now saying, "Save it, Gloria." So press your pocket and save it on the machine. In case somehow we lose it, we'll be able to resume. Okay, so now we're going to add the chenille. But remember, I don't know what happened, but I don't have that original basting down of my fusible fleece. So we're going to have to add that again. But this will be a really good thing to show you. I will be showing you that again. So next Friday, we're going to do this on the Solaris, and it'll work for the Luminaire. I really feel like I need to do a separate one for the Altair, Meridian, and the Stellaire. So we'll let you know when we're going to do it. It'll be good to watch it every time because you'll learn, you know. And then when I do it for the 3rd time, I'm going to show you how to change those fancy fills to different ones. I'm going to show you how to delete them and then add and bring the stripes back up and add to it. So it'll be similar to what I do at the very end with this one. Okay, so now we saved it. So I'm going to go add IQ Designer or My Design Center. Okay, pocket with the arrow pointing out at the top. The flash drive. B pocket. It always saves things in a B pocket. The star. Okay. Then, do I want to sew this again? I already basted it. I don't want to sew it again. So we're going to go into line properties. No sew. See, I just needed that shape to fill. So no sew. Okay. Fill bucket. Click on the star to fill it. Okay. Then we're going to go to, well, not to fill it, to change the line to no sew. The outside line is not going to sew. Now I'm going to go to fill properties. Okay. Fancy fills. Select. Okay. Oh no, not okay. I didn't select anything. You're going to go all the way to the end and get that chenille stitching. Chenille. Okay. Now, red is fine. It's on red. I'm going to leave it on red. Then, okay. Now, I'm going to select the fill bucket so I can see my chenille in the window. So, fill bucket. Click inside the chenille to fill it, or inside the star to fill it. Okay. And then we're going to press next. Okay. So I had Joni sew it. And the first time we sewed it, she said, Gloria, the points are falling off. And so I thought, I counted. Now, see, there's a break in that row. So I just counted that one as one row. But I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. And I was worried about having enough room to put my, that chenille cutter under it. So I thought we were going to have to sew it out like 5 times before we found the right one. But I clicked on 100. Then I went down to 95. Okay. Now I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that might be okay. So we sewed this one out and it worked. So I never did make them even closer together. So you can play with it if you want, but the 95% worked. It gave me 10 stitching lines and everything turned out really good. Okay, so now set, down at the lower left, set. I like what I see, so I set it. Okay. All right, now if you are on the Radiance or Avenir, your next step, we've done all our stitching, your next step is to flip your pillow closed, right sides together, and sew it together. Okay, so we are going to need to add IQ Designer or My Design Center. All right, pocket with the arrow pointing out. So I'm going to turn my page. So that was step 226. I think, that we do have designs that I've done that were, I think Pasanki Egg had the most steps. I think it had like 300, but we have had others that have more steps than this. But see, there is our red rectangle. So the red rectangle. Okay. Okay, now at this point, we're going to be folding over. The zipper is going to be on the left-hand side. I don't want to stitch this on the left-hand side because it'll stitch my zipper closed. I won't be able to put the pillow in. So I want to erase all the stitching on this left-hand side. Now, there's all different ways to erase and quicker ways to erase. So if you know a quicker way to do it, go ahead. But I thought for my class, because I had so many new people on it, that I was just going to use the eraser. So we're going to click on the eraser. And right now, if I take my mouse and I click on the screen, you can't even see how big that eraser is. It is so little. So I say go up between 40 and 50. Doesn't matter how big, just somewhere between 40 and 50. Now when I click on the screen, I can see my eraser, and it's much easier. So I'm just going to go over. So I do this with the mouse. Let me even see if I could do it without a mouse. I guess you can, but see how your finger is blocking. So I did erase a little bit, but usually I click down with my mouse. I'm holding that left button down, and I'm going to slide over, and I'm going to just bump up, and I'm trying not to get the side. But let's say you did, and then you'll press undo to get that line back again. So I press, but look at that. I didn't lift my mouse that whole time, so it put that big line back down. So do what you would think to be maybe an inch at a time, and release your mouse button. And then when I get close, it's not going to matter if you have that teeny tiny stitch at the top. But if you want to, you can zoom in. Let's go to 200. But see, now you need to use your pan button and slide your screen over. And okay, I can see a little bit better here, but really if I go to 400, and I'll have to pan over again, now I can see it. Now I need to click my eraser again. So over here, so I can do it with my mouse or just click. It's still at my 61, but look how it's that big. You may at this point want to make it a little smaller. If I leave that little tiny bit, it's not going to matter. Just leave it. Just leave it. It's not going to hurt anything. Now, you can use your pan button to move, but you can also go over to the slider bar, click on your slider bar, and oh, look at, I erased. Uh-oh, undo. I can see it come. So I want to go to, I guess I got to go to pan. Otherwise, my eraser is on. So I have to click on pan. Then I can click on the slider bar and slide all the way down. And well, let's catch this here. So we'll get our eraser and click down. Okay, then we'll have to say okay. Oh, it's just easier to not be zoomed in, right? So I'm going to go back to 100, and I've got my mouse button on. Now I'm going to click over here, and you're going to keep erasing. Remember to pick up your mouse every once in a while, or if you make a mistake, it's going to put the whole thing back again. So I'm just going to do a little bit at a time and get down there as best I can. I'm not worrying about a little bit extra being there. So you erased as much as you could of the line on the left, right? So now we have to tell it how we want it to sew it. I'm going to slide my mouse over to the side. So, okay, so it's going to do it in a zigzag. You don't want that. So we are going to go to line properties, straight stitch, and then purple. I seem to go to purple a lot on this one, but purple, okay. Line bucket, up above there. Click on the line to turn it purple. Oh, didn't hit it in the right spot. There, now it's purple. Okay, so I turned it purple. So my next button to press is next. So next. It's going to sew it at a 2mm stitch length. That's going to be nice and strong. Now don't let this worry you. Look at how our red line has appeared over here. It isn't. It's selected. So that's why it's selected the whole box. But the red line is not back. It's just because that design is selected so you can make changes to it. Now, the outline on, or that, not outline on, but under sewing. So it's going to go around twice. So it's going to stitch it, stitch it, stitch it. It's going to go back again and stitch it. And I want it to go twice because you're going to be, pushing and pulling it and poking out the corners. So it's nice to have it sewn twice. So we're going to set, okay. All right. So it had to think, so don't press anything. All right, remember, I am missing a step, okay? So I don't see that the red rectangle to tack down my fusible fleece. So somehow I either erased it. I'm wondering if one of you still have it, so let me know if you still have it. But I need to get it back again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it. And then in our edit screen, now I'm not going to do this now, but I just wanted to show you in the edit screen, we can change the order that things sew out. So I'm going to get it out of edit, press add, IQ Designer or My Design Center. We're going to go to the pocket with the arrow pointing out up above. We're going to get our red rectangle. So click on it so it's highlighted. Okay. How do I want it to sew it? Not as a straight stitch. So I'm going to go into Line Properties, Straight Stitch, and then, oh, it doesn't even matter what color. Let's go, it's got black. Let's go to, I just wanted to show you, we could go blue. I don't know. And okay. Line Bucket. Click on the line to turn it blue. Got it first try that time. Next. 2 stitch length is good. Do I want to go around twice? I don't. So I'm going to turn the undersewing off and okay. Okay, then it's only going to go around once. All right, set it. Okay. It has to think. So don't press it again. You pressed it, let it think. It has a lot of digitizing to do. If you press it too many times, it's going to say malfunction occurred. And you're going to need to start from the beginning. It might not resume. Okay, so now where is my blue rectangle? It is at the very end now. Okay, so it's at the very end. I'm going to select, see, I can see the blue. I'm going to select it. I'm going to press edit. And I am going to press this button. So right here, it's showing you actually 3 squares and an arrow. And it's I wonder what they call this. Let me see what they call it. Embroidering order. So you can change the order. So we're going to select it. I'm just moving my mouse out of the way. Okay, so we're going to select the embroidering order button. It's at the very end. I can move it 1 step up at a time. So if I want it to be my step 5, I would press this button. But I want it at the very beginning. So I'm going to press that. It's going to put it at the very beginning. And then we're going to say, okay. And we're going to click on the pocket and save it on my machine. And I'm ready to sew. So you learned an awful lot, right? So, okay, let's go through the steps of sewing. Okay, so what I have is, and I have no show in, all right? Maybe I should go, wait, they're still going to see the screen, so I'm not positive, because there's no way we could, it'll take another, it takes it, well, let's go to embroidery. Embroidery. So this takes 63 minutes to sew out, so we're not going to be able to sew it out. But I'd like to step through the steps with them. So I think seeing it first here, okay, and then making sure that I named my steps right. So I have my fusible fleece. Oh, mine has fuzz because I was ripping out right on top of it. But I'm going to just position my fusible fleece. So it's just on top of the no-show. And I'm just going to make sure that it's smooth. And I'm not going to worry about, I would like to show them exact. So I'm going to go up to the cutting table to show them the next step because it's really important. Okay, so I've got my fusible fleece in my hoop and I'm going to insert it in. I might as well, since you got the camera here, is this okay to sew out? There's no way we can do all of them, but I'm thinking if your hoop is hard to put on, don't force it. Pull it out. It might be that it's just in there out of kilter. See, now mine is much easier to put in. So don't force it on. Pull it out and redo. You probably got it out of kilter somehow. And I'm going to push that down. Okay. The carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Okay. Okay. And I don't have any thread in. I'm going to, oh, I do want blue. Did we? Okay, I'm going to steal your navy blue. Oh no, because mine's blue. I want red. Do we have a red? A red right there. Okay, so we're good. We have a red. So if you're sewing on the blue, thread your machine with the red, because we're going to do the stars and stripes with the red. So I was worried about this project because I thought, oh, this is too hard. This is too hard. And because, you know, a lot of the people there had never played with their IQ designer before, but everybody was successful. Everybody did it. I had the best helpers. I did. I had, you know, that's it. In every class, we had the best helpers. You know, our teachers are all so good. So I'm very, very lucky. Okay. So we are just going to sew that in.
I feel like the stars and stripes would look really good with like the cream.
You think
color.
the cream? Should we switch to that?
We're doing navy.
Yeah, you think the cream. Okay. Not because the red, you're right, won't stand out. The cream, okay, I like getting suggestions. I listen to people. You know, that's why I like it when you tell me things to change. This was a wrinkly piece of fusible fleece, but I think it's going to be okay. Oh, am I going to hit the wall? Okay, we're going to check it. Oh, I think I better pull the whole cabinet towards me a little bit. Yeah, I think we're okay there. Okay, as long as you're okay. I've got a good 8 inches now. Okay. And you know what was happening in our class? One person's hoop might have hit the back of someone else's chair, and then the design was off. So after the first class, we rearranged the furniture and we made more space in between the tables. So it was really nice because we just had like 15 people in a class, and we never want to go above that. That was manageable. So I had 50, and I had a teacher and 2 helpers in each class, except for John and Tom. Oh, yes. We had Cindy and John and Tommy in the one class. Yeah, so we had plenty of helpers. Okay, so now remind me to switch to the khaki, but we'll do that when we put it back in. Okay, so I'm going to take this up to the table to trim. Okay. And to iron it in place. Okay.
So I have quite a few questions from people.
Okay, we'll try to answer those, okay?
So there's more on the USB.
Yes.
If they order it.
Yes.
If
there's the completed design is on there.
Completed design,
you don't have to sew it.
The files for every machine that has an IQ designer, right?
Yeah, and so I did do the design in an 8x12, but it doesn't have any fancy fill.
Okay.
You know, but it has the whole flag. So with the fancy fill inside the stripes, but not the fancy fill on the outline.
Okay.
Yeah, the outside. Okay.
And then, so if they got their USB from the event, they only had the designs for the Radiance and Avenir and the instructions on it, right?
Yeah.
So are we able to send those out to the people for the other machines, or would they have to purchase it?
Yeah, anybody that was at the event. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can send
all
that.
of it. All of it. Send them all of it. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So I like doing this with the applique scissors. And just that duck bill prevents me from cutting underneath. I find my squeezy snips seem to get stuck inside the in the fusible fleece, and it takes me longer. And everyone loves Kimberbell's new double curved. scissors. I don't have them here, but we showed them a couple times, so they're really nice. And we tested them because I thought they were the same as the Fomorier, and the Fomorier didn't cut as good as the Kimberbow. I thought I was giving people a tip how to save money because the Fomorier ones, and Fomorier is a really good brand, but the Fomorier were like half the price, but they did not cut. So disregard the fuzz. That was because I ripped out my stitching on top of my fusible fleece. So what do you have, John?
Oh, I'm just.
He's smiling. He's looking in here and smiling.
Did you guys show them the hoop again?
Not yet.
The what again?
This hoop.
Oh no, you can show that while I'm
I'm
snipping.
gonna show this because this is. Oh my
While
gosh,
I
look
trim.
at your project. How cool that is.
You think? Oh,
Oh my
good.
gosh, you have such a cool project.
Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful.
So,
So-
I'm on for the second time again, guys. So I just wanted to show this hoop one last time.
He likes being on the show.
Sometimes I don't if I'm having a bad hair day.
Yeah.
But this is the last time we're gonna have this hoop at this special price. What was it again? $230. $239. So
And normally, how much is this hoop? Like $450, I think. Because we had to like correct it, right? Because it was in there at $450.
This is
Yeah.
the last chance to get this hoop with 10%.
So, oh my gosh,
This
that's
is,
right.
like, the best
We're still
deal.
doing 10%. Yeah.
Yes, today is the last
No.
day for 10%.
Oh, shh, don't tell them, Kate. Okay, shh, okay.
Oh,
I-
I'm here.
I like it when they buy more, and they buy more when I do. But
We'll say
okay, we'll
last day
see
for 10% for this week at least.
for this week. Yes,
And
yes.
especially with this price
can
on this
buy
hoop.
all
Because this hoop is
weekend.
amazing.
You can buy all weekend at 10% off.
Well, all
Okay,
right.
not
Well,
off. I always say 10% off, and everybody corrects me. Yeah,
She's the
so-
boss. So
Okay, yeah.
whatever Gloria says goes.
I
But-
don't know. I just hate buying anything at full price. I like a deal. Yeah.
And this is a super deal. I mean, for this hoop, at this price, you cannot beat that because I think our regular price is around $450, and the recommended retail, the MSRP, is a little over $600, right?
Yeah.
So, and this 7x12 magnetic hoop is amazing. And it has the thinner grips. It's not the old thicker ones that you'd get your finger caught in and it would hurt. I might have did that at brother training. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know if Tommy ever told you guys about
No.
that one, but I was
Did you
just
get
like,
like a blood blister? Or
I
anything?
didn't, but like
No.
my pinky was caught, and I was like,
Ah!
it was embarrassing because there was only a few other people in there, so I'm like, ow, 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 like everybody's looking at me. So, but do not pass up on this deal with this hoop. You cannot beat this. So
He's right. He's right, especially with the 10% that I'm going to leave on all weekend. Okay.
and I have
okay.
to ask, did you show them that seam ripper?
Yes,
Go.
I did. I mean, it
That
worked
seam ripper
really
going
good.
through that surge
Yeah.
edge is amazing. You can't beat that.
No, I know that's okay. So now I find the bracket. Okay, I want my zipper to be at the bracket. And why is that? Well, at the very end, you are going to close it like this. Okay, you're going to close it like that, and it's going to do that stitch. Okay, but I don't want to. I don't want my stitching to come up to the zipper. So I just want to overlap this by about 3/8 of an inch. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the, I don't want to have to pick out all those threads. So I'm going to go up to that. And I think, you got to do it by the feel. So I can feel the bump where the fusible fleece stops. And I can see here to here. You know what? I think if I forward, I think I'm good there. Okay, but I want it, I don't want this seam to only be like 1/8 of an inch, but I don't want to pull way down that my stitching's going to hit my zipper. Okay, and notice we have our zipper halfway undone already because when we sewed the right sides together to sew it closed, we would forget to open the zipper. So you really do want to, you really do want to have that halfway open. Okay, so we're good here. So I told you that Tommy and his wife 5 years ago, they had a civil ceremony, and so they never got married in a church, and they kind of felt left out because neither of them had been confirmed. And so tomorrow, the priest just said it'll be quick. Half hour, just have like two witnesses. That's all you need. And we turned it into a party. So, and Maddie got a white dress, a little lace white dress, and she has flowers to carry, and she got shoes with a bow on the back, and we made Tommy go get a suit, and then Steve's going to be the best man. Steve's going to be the best man, and her sister Gina is going to be her matron of honor. So, okay, so I have it positioned. So I'm just overlapping, by like, let's say 3/8 to a 1/2 inch, no less than that. I'm feeling it with my fingers, and I can feel where the fusible fleece stops. I can see where that stitching is going to end up being. And so I'm going to take my iron, and the most important spot is down here, and I'm going to fuse that and hold it. I did melt the no-show. I've never done that before, but we were using, I guess our irons were really hot, and I melted my no-show. But you want to hold it. It's not gonna burn. So you want to make sure it's holding, because there's no stitch holding it, because then we would have to pick that whole stitch out. And then once I have this bottom done, then I just push this way, and that's going to kind of push that zipper a little farther away from the stitching. Okay. So maybe I'll start the fancy fill, and I'll go over with them the steps. We'll just start the fancy fill just to see how we like the khaki. And then I'll stop the machine and go through the steps. Okay, so I'm feeling good. See how this is like bubbling right here? So I got that. So if I just get it attached to the fusible fleece right there, but we'll deal with that later. Those that came to the event, I said to them, when you fold it over, you don't want to end up with a pleat up there. So at the very end, we're going to kind of feel it and make sure that there's no bubble. It's going to be right there. And, we'll smooth it. So that's the only part that you have to be careful with there. Okay, so we're good here, right? All right, and do I have my khaki thread? Right here's khaki. Okay, all right. So I'm excited just to see how that's going to look. And then I'll switch to the steps. So... Oh, I didn't hold long enough. Oh, look at that. I was ironing. I wasn't using a mat. So, oh my. I ruined another. Oh, I'll just put this down a second. Okay. I'll just slide this aside. I know what I was thinking. Okay, so this one, I got to make sure I turn that one off. So we're going to be at the same hotel for the event. Whoop, something's under there. A gray spool cap. They're always hiding. So once you do your first fancy fill, it's anchored there, so it's fine. Yeah, so we have a way of knowing who was at the event. Do not have a radiance, have a Solaris vision. Okay, so... waiting for the free.
Butterfly receive. Okay, I'll let.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was ironing on top of a mat. No wonder it wasn't holding. So you really hold it. Let it melt, especially down here. Okay, now I'll put it in the machine. So the bracket is on this side. Okay. And we are far enough away from the wall. We have been so busy. Thank you all so much. We are so happy. You know, I think coming to the events make you excited to sew again. I feel like since the event was over, our store has been incredibly busy. So we have to think of it that way, that the event is to keep you inspired and keep you wanting to sew more. So, okay, so I'm going to switch to the khaki color.
I feel like it'll look good. The khaki color.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. I do. So see, that's what's fun about sewing, is you get to pick what you want. So if they want red, they can do red. They want khaki. Just the navy blue won't show up at all. And we did have somebody do khaki on khaki at the event, and it didn't show up. But, you know, that was what she wanted. There. So I think I'm just going to press start. Oh, and it's almost at the top of the star, so we don't have to worry about the zipper at all. But, you know, if we get too close, it might hit a flap, you know, the screw might. Oh, it is showing up really good. We'll just let it stitch for one minute, but I do like the khaki. And okay, so would you do the khaki color for the satin stitch too? Or should I switch to red or do it in gold? Remember, how did you do yours?
I did mine in khaki.
In khaki. And people liked that, but it was like khaki on khaki, so it didn't stand out. I really like the ones that did it in gold and blue. Yeah. Oh, that looks so good, doesn't it? So this is really neat. Okay, so I just want to stop there and go over the steps. So I guess what I should really do is stop it and write down the stitch number, right? So I am going to stop it. Now, Joni always tells me, and Patty too, they always say, press your knot button, and then press your cutter. And then I'm at stitch number 1377 out of 37,954. And it was color number 2. I don't really need all that information. That stitch number would have gotten me there. Okay, so, all right. So first, your first step, I have hoop no-show stabilizer in the Radiance and Avenir largest hoop. Position a 13-inch by 20-inch piece of heavyweight fusible fleece with a fusible side facing up. I like fusible fleece. I like my fancy fills to have a little bit of puff to them. So you place it over the, and then stitch and trim. So you're going to stitch your fusible fleece and then trim. Center your pillow fabric over the fleece with the zipper on the left side of the hoop. The raw edge will be on the right side. Make sure it overlaps the stitching on the right side. Now I put by just a 1/4 inch, but if you did what I did and I went to 105, it pulls it far enough away. So now we're going to change that to 1/2 to 3/8 inch. So I put 1/4 inch, but we want it to be like 3/8 to 1/2 inch. Okay, so the step I'm doing right now, so can they see the screen, Kate?
Now they can.
Okay, so you're going to stitch the whole fancy fill. I'm going to press is it okay, or I think I bumped it. Oh, when we moved the cabinet.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go to my plus minus button so I can step you through. So I'm going to go down to stitch number 3. Stitch the placement line for the flag. Okay, and then you are going to go to step 4 next, and you're going to position a piece of Americana latte fabric. That's Lori Holt calls that color latte. So cream color fabric over the placement line, stitch, then trim and press it, but don't rub with your iron, because we did have people, it's such a big piece that you could easily get a pleat. So just hold your iron down and move to the next spot and then lift your iron. Okay, so the next one, step 5, stitch the placement lines for the stripes. So it's just the placement lines. Step 6, position 3 different Americana red fabrics over the placement lines. Be careful not to overlap. Stitch, then trim, and then press again. All right, next one, it's going to stitch your fancy fills. And we said we put gold thread on top of the red fabric, and that looked pretty, but some people put the navy and it showed up better, so you may want to have the navy in. Okay, now step 8. So step 8 was you're going to position a piece of the blue thread, the navy fabric, the navy blue fabric, and it's going to be easy to tell where it's going to go, because see how the blue, you're going to have this fancy fill already sewn, and it's going to be real easy to tell right where that goes. So you're going to lay that down and you're just going to stitch that straight stitch. You're not going to do a placement line first. You're just going to lay it down and stitch it, and then you're going to trim and press. Now we're on step 9, and you're going to position a piece of the Americana gold fabric, 1 layer of the gold fabric over that whole blue area, and stitch and trim. I didn't do a placement. You know what? Sometimes it's just easy to tell where your fabric's going to go. Okay, so step 10, you're going to satin stitch everything. 28 minutes to satin stitch it. So this is when at the event we told the ladies, go eat lunch, but you have to be back in 28 minutes. But we told them, don't worry, we'll watch it. But, you know, you can sit here and be with it, or you could go do something else, but it's going to sew for 28 minutes. Now, the next one is you're going to lay the 3 layers of your fabric down, your gold fabric, and you want all 3 of them with the right side facing up. So I'll have 1, 2, 3. Remember, you already sewed one of these down. Whoop. So 1, 2, and my hands aren't working. Okay, I have 4. I'm going to take 1 away. Oop, it's not working for me. It's a struggle. Okay, so there, 3 of them. Make sure that these are cut on the straight of grain. Okay, so I can see the fibers going straight. You're gonna lay that down. So let's pretend like this is your hoop. Okay, you're gonna lay it down on the straight of grain. Okay, straight. You're gonna see these diagonal lines and think, oh, I'll sew that on the diagonal, because you don't want these to fray too much. And where's that one pillow where it was, did I put it over here? The one pillow where it was fraying too much. I don't know where that one went. Kate's going to look. Okay. Did I drop it? I don't know. But anyhow, see, when you sew on the straight, you have your fabric on the straight of grain and you sew at the diagonal, it's going to sew on the bias and your fabric won't fray too much. So there it is. Okay, this one, I don't know what we were thinking, but we were just thinking that it's going to sew at the diagonal, so sew at the diagonal. It frayed way too much, way too much. Hopeless, it's hopeless. So then we knew, and then we say, you're going to need to give it, like you're going to, once you cut it, you're going to brush it with a chenille brush, and it's going to fray, and you're going to get some long fibers, but you're going to just you'll cut those and trim it up so it looks good. So you just keep brushing and brushing until it looks good. Okay, so that was step 11. And then so the step 11 was the tack down. So you're tacking it down with that long basting stitch. Okay, now step 12 was the chenille stitching. And it's all tacked down, so you just go. And then, now, we were having some people take their hoop over and trim the excess around the star. Remember, there's going to be a lot of excess, but they kind of, you risk popping it out of the hoop when you're doing that. So we felt like it was better to complete it, turn it right side out, then do the chenille. And then you won't have to worry about popping it out of the hoop when you're pushing on the brush and the chenille cutter, So next step is, so remember that was the straight stitch. So you're going to flip it over, so they might need to see this. So we are going to flip it over, and you'll need to stand up when doing it. Make sure, okay, and I want to make sure, like I don't want this is no good. I want to make sure that that end is meeting or even overlapping the one that's already in there. And I don't want to have a pleat up there. So I don't know, like if you do it, like see them right there, you want to smooth it. I just held it and did it, but of course I'm doing a million of them. You may want to just tape your fabric in place so you can pull your hands away, and then you're going to stitch down, and you're going to watch and make sure that this doesn't slide up, and you're going to be stitching down, and then you're going to go the other side. I stopped the machine when I got about right here, and then I smoothed this, make sure it's smooth, and I'm not going to end up with a pleat, and I sewed it the rest of the way. Then we popped it out of the hoop, trimmed the corners, trimmed off the excess fabric, turned it right side out, and then we did our chenille cutter and everything. So I think next week we'll show you that. I think we already did, like Tommy was showing the chenille cutter, right? But so I bet they don't want to wait a whole week. So
we also showed it 2 weeks ago. Right?
Yeah, we did. That's right, the chenille cutter. So what we did is, okay, the fabric was sewn down. So first thing I did, I took a good sharp pair of scissors. So Karen K. Buckley's are nice, or those new Kimberbells are really nice. And I trimmed all layers. So it was 3 layers, and I trimmed it in the shape of the star. It was easy to see because I had the basting stitch there. So I trimmed it right along with that. Then I snipped. So I took my squeezy snips at this point. Remember, I have a basting stitch. So I had to snip those basting stitches. And I kind of pointed this way, got that little blade under there and snipped those basting stitches. So then I did that all the way around, and then I was able to get the chenille cutter under the fabric, and it's really easy. It just smoothly cuts it. So you're going to trim all your layers. If you have threads hanging, it seems like it every once in a while it grows a thread. Like there's one I didn't see. Oh, that one just came out. But you're going to trim off the wild hairs. You're going to trim those threads off and just keep brushing and brushing until you like what you see. But we love it. It's just we like adding texture. That's why we love Kimberbell things so much, that because the Kimberbell is always adding texture to her things. So, okay, so I guess we go over. Okay, so I wanted to go, I would like to go back to the screen and show them the designs that are on the stick. And then they would have been emailed them. Yeah. Okay, so we will, okay, so in your bee pocket, okay, so I saved this, right? I better save again because I'm not positive I saved. So I'm going to go save, and I'll save it on the machine. Okay, so I can come back to this. So, okay, I'll say okay. So I have a clean screen, and we're going to go into embroidery. I've got my flash drive in there, and I'm going to select the pocket. Okay, and select my flash drive. Then there's a B pocket. So there the PHX files show up. Oop. Okay, they show up here, and then they weren't showing up on the Solaris, so I had to go with the Solaris, and Tommy converted them to PES, so you should be able to read them. So like you'll select it, like let's select the first one. Give it a second. Oh, I'm in millimeters, so I'm gonna have to go.
Some people were saying that the designs they got last night didn't include the PES, the ones that were emailed out. They didn't
We'll have to
include
check.
the PES.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to check and then do it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to change it to inches. So inches. And like on this machine, so here's your biggest one. And so this will show up on the Solaris, but when you press it, it'll say this is too big for your machine. So I'll select the next one. So that was 310. Let's see what 311 is. And that one is, okay, that one's the same size. So I think I put it on there in more than one language. Let's see. Now look at this one. Does not have the fancy fill. Let's select it. And that one is 12.67 by 8.66. So this one you can open up on the Solaris and Luminaire. Actually on all the machines that have IQ Designer, you could do this, just you won't have the outside fancy fill. And you could add that, but okay, so the next one, let's see. This one's 380. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so this one is the biggest one again. So I don't know why I put it in there 3 times, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so here is one that is 7.5 by 11. And so this one will fit in an 8 by 12 hoop. So people with an 8 by 12 will be able to do it, just no fancy fill on the outside. But you'll have the flag, which will look really nice. And let's look at this one. So just look at the sizes. So there it is again. So it must be in there in more than one language. Let's see what this one is. This one is a PHX. This one is 16. Now this opened up on the Solaris and the Luminaire. Even though it was 16.02, it did open up. So this is the biggest you can do it on the Solaris and the Luminaire. Okay, now let's see what this one is. Now this one will be the biggest one that you can select to do on Meridian, Altair, Destiny, and Dream Machine, and also the Stellaire. So just look at those numbers. You know what size your hoop is. So your hoop is like 9.5 by 14. That will fit, and it does have the fancy fill. So they say, and they didn't get it. Check and see for us if those designs are opening on your machine.
Right, yeah. Because I was looking at the file, and it said they had the PHX ones and then the PM9, which are the images.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
I think
that's what
so.
was in the files that I sent them.
So there was no PESs.
Not that I saw.
And he gave me the PES. Tommy can do them for me again. So Kate and I have a lot of work to do. So we will catch up. I'm hoping you can open these. I'm hoping you can. And get started. Of course, you got to wait for your kits, but they did ship out a lot of kits. They did. So, and I got a wedding to go to, so I don't think I'm going to be in tomorrow, but if I am, then maybe Tommy can show me how to do the email to send a PESs. So if I send those separate in all 3 sizes, so the 8 by 12, the 9.5 by 14, 4 sizes, 8 by 12, 9.5 by 14, then the 10 and 5/8 by 16, and the 11 and 5/8 by 18. So I want to get those all in PES. Okay, all right. I will do that. And I think they did get a lot of the kits shipped, but they're going to be shipping all day tomorrow too. So yeah, so maybe I can get Tommy. Of course, he's getting his hair cut tonight. And and little Gray's getting his hair cut tonight. So yeah, so all right. So I guess we could just run down the items again, but I'm not too worried about it. Like they've been by. So we do have the flag pillow kit. And that includes, so you will get, so anybody that orders now, so a lot of you got the first batch and you got 2 khaki and they ran out of the khaki pillows. And so I got the navy. And so there was a whole bunch of them that went out, 1 khaki and 1 navy. So, and then you will get, so you're gonna have to open these and then you will get these fabrics and you'll get a 1/4 yard of each. So you will get 3 different reds. So 3 different reds for your stripes. You will get, this is your cream color fabric to go, you know, for that first main big piece. Okay, here you're gonna get a 1/4 yard of the blue. You're gonna get enough fabric to do 2 of the pillows and you'll have extra. So, and then the gold. You'll get a gold. Okay, so you'll have enough to do 2 pillows. Okay.
And they will also get the designs.
Yes, yeah, emailed. But if you want the designs on a flash drive, so if you buy the kit, you will get the designs. Okay, but if you buy the flash drive, you won't have to get it out of your email and put it on your stick. You'll get a flash drive with a American lanyard, and the designs will all be on there. So it just, my customers like that. They like when we do that because it just makes it so much easier. So, okay, I'll just lay this one here. Okay, so that was the pillow, and the next one is if you want the lanyard with the designs on it. Yeah, and it's going to be all the sizes. Now the ones that I know, they did get some lanyards out, so they won't have the PES on there, but we'll email them to you. So okay, and then we've got our thread set, and so the 4 spools. So you'll get the gold, blue, the khaki, and then the red. So that khaki color that matched and a red, and you'll have every color you would ever want. Okay, and then we just had some of the fabrics, the Americana fabrics. So we have the 5x5s for sale. So if you want to make other things, Carol showed me a really neat bag to make out of a charm pack, and she's going to make it, and we're going to get her to teach the class on it. And so I think this would make a really cute bag. I just love the colors. You know, it doesn't scream red, white, and blue. It's just like summer colors. Now the next one is the 10-inch. So Riley Blake calls these stackers. So 10-inch squares, so you'll get 42 10-inch squares. And then we also have what we call jelly rolls, but Riley Blake calls them roly-polies. Okay, and then we had then we had the embroidery designs. I gotta sew these out. They sewed out one. I forget where it went though. They did sew out one. I'm gonna sew it out, but I think you'll get, okay, so this one. So we didn't have the right stabilizer. So if you look at this, now I didn't try best pressing it, but I looked and they didn't, all they had was 1 layer no-show. And that's no good, especially with appliques, because you're going to be pressing, and no-show shrinks. So it needed either shape flex under it or ultra soft fusible. We love that. It's soft, it's thin, but it eliminates puckering. So shape flex is really nice to have. So we're going to sew it out again with the right stabilizer. But imagine you can sew these designs. I'm going to slide those apart. There is sparkles just everywhere. We even brushed off. I don't want to waste them. They said, just throw them away. No, we're going to use those little sparkles. Okay, but look at this. You could get all those blocks done, right? I think. It looked like it. Wait, right? It's smaller than 10 by 10. So you could make this entire quilt with the 10 by 10s. You could probably do the pillow with the 5 by 5s. So that's a really neat design set, and it's in every language. It's on a flash drive already, so it's really easy. All right, and then the next item is the chenille cutter, and you know we're going to be doing more. It comes with more than one of these to put on. We just left the one on that came with the machine, and but you have different widths, so I guess if you want a higher loft, you'll make your your lines farther apart, and then it'll stick up farther. And then the other thing you need is a chenille brush, and you'll just keep brushing it and brushing it until it's the look that you like. Okay. And then the next one is the scoring tool. Here's the scoring tool. So you don't know how many people were walking around our event having a hard time getting it started. And so we love this scoring tool. So there's our featherweight hot fix, which is back in stock. If anybody was waiting for featherweight hot fix, it's back in stock. But we're just going to scratch that with the scoring tool, and then it's like flat on this side, and it'll catch that little line, and it makes it really easy to pull it off. So that's what the scoring tool is. And let's see, the Famore curved titanium scissors, but the one that we really like is the Kimberbell. Yeah, you have the Kimberbell. Yeah, we tried to cut the 3 layers at once to trim, and you know how that Kimberbell ones sailed through it. So I know they're a lot more money, but they work a lot better. So, okay. Now the next one is the embroidery tape, and you know about that. It's 1 inch wide. You'll get 2 rolls. It won't come in fancy packaging. That's why our price is so much lower. So, okay. And then buy Annie's double-sided basting tape. This is great. It is sticky on both sides. So if you need to do something like, people were using it when they folded their pillow over to hold that seam right where they wanted it. And you get 2 rolls. So there's a roll here and there's a roll in between. And so it's like a lifetime supply. You get so much. Okay. And then the wool pressing mat. So I have been using the 8x8, but I do like having this one beside my machine, and I use it as a mouse pad, but I also iron on it right next to my machine, so I do like the 13 and a half by 13 and a half. So that's good. Okay, and then, oh yeah, this is our favorite turning tool. It's nice and long when you need to poke out the corners. This can get really deep in. So yeah, I'm gonna sew like this. Okay, this design set, it shows you the pillow on the front and it shows you a wreath, but on the back there's like a wall hanging table runner and also a centerpiece, and then a big flag in the center too. So there's a lot on this one. Let's see if this one just has a lot of designs and all the instructions for doing the quilt. So, all right, and then
I have the frills and motifs.
The frills and motifs. Here they are right here. Uh-oh.
And that paper that was stuck.
Oh, this shows you what's on there. I'll just shove things aside. There, and so it takes care of Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. I think there's even like a mug with beer, wasn't there? Was that? I don't know, but okay. And then spring, so there's Easter baskets, and then this one is 4th of July. So it's got Uncle Sam's hat. I forget what that one said. United we stand. The Stripes and Stars, the Liberty Bell, and USA. Now these are decorative stitches, and I got to start using those. Patty loves them. She uses them all the time. I'm going to start using them. So So we got the fills, and I always forget to put mine away, so I'm going to take a second and get it put away. Okay. All right, and then the featherweight hot fix. We can't live without this. This is the best stuff. It holds our fabric. Our appliques end up laying really nice and flat. It doesn't fray. Your fabric won't fray as much because it kind of melts into the fabric. Yeah, now the fabric by the yard, the kit cutters asked us to hold off on selling it until they were sure they had all the kits cut. And so they said, don't sell it on Monday. And also we reordered some, so we don't have all of them in yet. And so we're not going to do Americana fabrics on Monday. We're going to wait one more week to do that because the kit cutters were worried that they were going to need some more fabric. I forget what kits they had to do with it, but so they wanted to make sure. Now the next one, I love this mini iron. For me, I guess because my hands don't work that great, it's just easy to hold. You know, it's easy to pick up. The Aliso, for me, it's harder to hold it. You know, my hand fits all the way around it, and it does do steam, and it's a real nice small size. So I can lift my hoop up, take it to my wool mat, and iron. So, okay. And then pillow form, the pillow form, which we're out of again. I think the shippers came and took every single one we had. But there are 50 more heading our way. So we will have the pillow form again. And it's the Kimberbell one. We really like everything Kimberbell does. So it's a really nice quality one. It's not lumpy at all. It's nice and firm. So and your pillow will be nice and smooth. Now the heavyweight fusible fleece, that doesn't come with it. We don't sell the regular fusible fleece anymore. It seems like the regular fusible fleece is way too flimsy. So we like the heavyweight, and that's a 2-yard piece of the heavyweight fusible fleece. So I think it's 45-inch wide by 2 yards. So it'll get you lots of projects, lots of pillows. And then my Kai seam ripper, you saw how good that worked at the very beginning. So she ordered the flag kit yesterday after the show. So we're going to email them on Monday. Yeah. I'm going to see how I do emailing them, but Kate does them so fast. It would take me 8 hours to do what she does in an hour. Yeah. So we'll be emailing all of those on Monday. I want to double check them. I want to make sure that we have the PES with them. So, all right. And I think that's it. So thank you all so much. I don't think I'll be in tomorrow. But if I get up early and I don't need to do anything and I'm all dressed, I'll come into work until it's time to go to the wedding. It's at 2 o'clock. It's at 2 o'clock. So, you know, so I may be in work tomorrow. I have to see how many people are coming into work because I know John's going to be there and Janine, but I'm a little worried because 2 people in the store is not enough. So I'm probably going to be there. So, all right, everyone, thank you all so much. So we will see you Monday. Carol is putting together a really nice selection for Monday. So we will have bargain fabrics again. I know you love that. So we'll be there at 3 o'clock on Monday. So, all right, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you Monday.